Hello YouTube people, in today's video I'm going to show you how this beautiful chronograph watch from Addiesdive looks like on these custom straps. This video is sponsored by Addiesdive. Addiesdive has sent me this watch for the video and I get to keep it. Thank you Addiesdive. Technical specifications and measurements which I have done myself as always. The weight of this watch like this is 43 grams, diameter of the case is 37 millimeters, diameter of the bezel is also 37 millimeters, lug to lug distance 45.7, lug width is 20, thickness is 12.4. This watch has water resistance of 100 meters. On top it has double domed mineral crystal and inside it has VK63 quartz movement. The lume on this watch is strong and beautiful. It is blue, it is all the same on hands and indices, color and intensity, and it does last till the morning without a problem. That's how this watch looks like on my 16.5 centimeter or 6.5 inches wrist with its original bracelet. Now in order to resize this bracelet for my wrist, I had to remove this many links. And let's see how many links there is still on a bracelet. So on this side I could remove one link and on this side I could still remove two links. And I'm currently set on the last hole on the clasp. Now the bracelet is, end links are solid metal, the links themselves are also solid metal and they are connected with simple pins, and the clasp is also solid metal clasp, so that's very nice. Now the finishing on the bracelet top is brushed and it tapers very nicely from 20 to 16 millimeters. That's very nice. Sides are polished out and you can probably tell that polishing does clip the edges a little bit. As you see, the reflection is a little bit distorted, which is a good thing, means that the polishing went over the edges a little bit, which results and this bracelet feeling actually not sharp. The sharpness is actually it's better than average. That's very nice, especially for the given price point. Bracelet feels actually okay. Now the clasp, I like this clasp. The clasp is slim. I like how slim and compact it is, yet very functional, because you know it still has plenty of adjustment holes. That's nice and it's very easy to use. Just a simple double pusher clasp, locks in place very nicely. Now let me give you a little bit of a better look up close how it looks like. It's brushed just the same as the bracelet itself, has those very beautiful polished out edges. That's how it's looking like. Now speaking about the finishing quality, this inside portion is actually not bad, also slightly better than average. I like that. Those are not like raw cut metal, they are a little bit finished off edges. That's nice. Now the shelf of the clasp itself, how is it? It's not too bad actually. Well, this edge and this edge, they could be a little bit better, but they are already at the point where I can't really complain, to be honest. And now the corners themselves, actually not too bad, you know. It's actually better than average. The bottom edge is not bad. I'm not sure if that can be seen on camera, but they are a little bit finished. That's nice. So all in all, I actually like how this thing is finished. There is only one thing that I could complain about. Let me point out real quickly. Actually, let me put the watch on the wrist so you could see a little bit better perhaps. So if we look at this gap, this gap, this gap, you know, they all are the same, except this gap, the end link versus the first link. I kind of wish to see this gap a little bit smaller than it is, you know. It's like, it's not terrible, it's alright, it's the usual gap that you would normally see on bracelets of this style, but I just somewhat would wish that this gap would be a little bit smaller. That's all. Other than that, it's actually pretty good. The case on this watch is actually my favorite kind of design. I really like it. I believe it is called a pillow shaped case because it does look a little bit like a pillow. And one thing I would like to point out, according to my measurements, the thickness of this watch is 12.4 millimeters, which sounds like a lot, but actually on this style it's perfect. I wouldn't want it to be any slimmer than that, because, you know, there is no single place where the extra thickness would be coming from poking your eyes in a bad way. Look at the case back is completely flat. That's very nice. The middle portion of the case itself also, it's very beautiful, kind of a pillow, and I really like that, and I wouldn't want it to be any slimmer than that. It has perfect proportions. The bezel also slim. It's very beautiful bezel, the polished out edges. The bezel itself is very nice, and on top we have this mineral crystal which is sticking out a little bit, and I like this crystal combination with the slim bezel because it effectively makes re-hot disappear. You know, you almost don't see it because this crystal makes a little bit of distortions around the edges, which help making this re-hot disappear. And also the bezel itself is rather slim, so there isn't really much of a re-hot to start with. So all in all, the shape of the case is my favorite, the shape of the crystal is my favorite, and overall as this combination is, I do find it to be very, very beautiful. This watch, the case, the crystal and everything, proportions, it's so beautiful. I really like it. Now let me give you a little bit better look at the case back. If you wanna read everything, you can pause it. All I wanna tell you is that this engraving is a little bit sharp, nothing new though, but easy thing to fix, just rub it off a little bit with sandpaper. Another bad thing is that those lug ends are very, very pointy and rather sharp, and that's bad because whenever I, you know, change straps and play with the watch and put the watch on my wrist, I sometimes scratch my wrist with the sharp edge of the lug. That's no good. Those lug ends should never be this sharp. But also that's not a big deal because that's very, very easy to fix. Just take a nail file and just rub it in a little bit, you know, dull down those corners, and it's gonna be fine. What else could I be complaining about? Well, it's debatable, but I saw many of you like those drilled lugs. For me, they really don't look that good. I don't like them. They are very helpful, very convenient thing to have, and they are not deal breakers for me for sure. I don't really mind them that much, but I kind of wish this case wouldn't have those holes. They really don't add any beauty to overall look in my opinion. But you know, it's just each to their own. Anyway, all around, this thing is awesome, simply awesome. Speaking about the dial on this watch, I do find it to be very, very attractive. Sexy, I would even say. Overall, this watch is a very sexy watch. It looks so good, so beautiful, very attractive looking watch. Not only the case of this watch is my favorite kind of style, but also the dial on this watch is definitely one of the most beautiful as for a chronograph watch. And overall, I just really like it. For me, it looks very appealing. I do like it. Now, technically speaking, there is one thing that I'm super happy about, is that when the bezel is so slim, so technically there isn't really much of a re-hot inside the watch, this, you know, metal wall around the perimeter of the dial. And because this crystal is also double domed, you know, it's domed on the edges and a little bit in the middle, that's why it's double domed, I believe. It has a little bit of distortions around the edges, around the perimeter, which also effectively makes this re-hot basically disappears. This watch looks like it doesn't even have re-hot. It almost appears as if the crystal is basically sitting on top of the dial itself. It makes it visually look very rather slim, I must say, even though, you know, that's a strange thing because the crystal is popping out, creating a little bit extra thickness, but visually how it works, it actually makes this watch look slimmer because the dial looks closer to the crystal itself. Sad that it's not sapphire crystal, but as far as mineral crystals go, this is definitely one of the prettiest ones. And also this crystal has this magical kind of a glow. Let me demonstrate it real quick. I just need to point the light directly behind the shot, and now look at the crystal. when the crystal has those bubbly edges, you know, it catches the light from the side very nicely, and which creates this, you know, kind of a almost magical glow on the crystal. This is why this is my favorite shape for the crystal. Sapphire or mineral doesn't matter, but this shape of a crystal has this kind of a magical glow at certain angle to the light, which I find to be very, very pretty. This looks really beautiful. And take a better look at the finishing on those subdials, and it is simply gorgeous. I don't know how they did it. It's probably some kind of very precise CNC machinery, but the engraving on those subdials is so pretty. It's very, very beautiful. I like it a lot. I like that they are oversized and they look just so good. Overall, it's very pretty. And one interesting thing is that the edges on those subdials are also very, very shiny. I'm not sure if that is going to come off very nicely on camera, but let me tell you what, whenever I have this watch on my wrist and just check out the watch in front of a mirror, I do find those edges on the subdials shining very intensively, very nicely. Those edges are just so beautifully shiny on those subdials, and subdials themselves are just so pretty. Man, this thing is nice. This is a very nice watch. Now let's check the quality control. Let's begin with the pushers. Actually, pushers, no surprise, they feel very clicky, very mechanical. They always do on this particular movement, that they feel very nice. Okay, now the crown, it's a screw down crown and it's grippy. It's nice to use crown, but it's you know, chronograph. Sorry, it's a quartz watch. You ain't gonna use this crown very much, but the ratio is slow and nice. Now let's check the alignment of hands on 6. Alignment seems to be great, very nice. Now how is the alignment on those subdials? So first of all, hold on a second, let's check the alignment of the right subdial, which shows 24 hours, which is basically useless on this watch, but as a design, part of the design, it actually serves a very important function, making everything look very symmetrical and nice. Anyway, the subdial seems to be nicely aligned. The left subdial, 60-minute subdial, which belongs to the chronograph, also nicely aligned. The bottom subdial is just simple seconds subdial, which belongs to the watch itself, not the chronograph. And the big seconds hand, which is currently pointing at 12, belongs to the chronograph itself. Let's start it. Okay, let me just show you how it works. Let's stop it and reset it. And it seems like, looking at the dial itself, it is very, very nicely centered. What's not very nicely centered appears to be is the alignment with the bezel. I'm not sure about it, but it seems as if 60-minute mark is tiny bit off to the right. Is it? Strange thing is that when I'm looking at the bottom, 120 minute or kilometers per hour, wherever mark is this, it's actually very nicely centered on the bottom, but on the top it's like, I don't know, is this supposed to be like that? I mean, maybe it's, I don't know, I don't have knowledge about that. If you look at the left, where is 80, alignment is great. On the, well, I don't know how this bezel is supposed to work, to be honest with you. All I can tell you is that the alignment of this chronograph seconds hand, according to the dial itself, is actually perfect. I found this watch to be rather versatile and looking very good on many different straps, and I have chosen these particular straps that in my opinion look the best on this watch. If you are interested in any of these straps, you can find them on my website thomaswatchreviews.com. Let's begin with the nylon straps, starting with this gray nylon strap, which has this texture. Very, very nice nylon strap. Looks definitely very good on this watch. Looks as if this watch came originally on the strap, which, you know, this watch is also available on a nylon strap if you don't want the bracelet, which does look rather similar to this one. I must say, I didn't have it, I don't know for sure, but at least from the pictures it does look like that, and I think it looks really good on this nylon strap. Now let's introduce some color. Shiny green nylon strap. Very beautiful, I must say. Also, it's no versatile watch. It's one of those watches that you can put any strap you want on this watch and it's gonna look just great, just like this one, just like the previous chronograph watch from Addiesdive. Also, you can put any strap you want and it looks just awesome. And that's very big fun factor, I must say, speaking about the watch. Very versatile. Just look at this thing. Very nice. A blue nylon strap. Very nice. I really like it. This nylon strap is the one that has this pattern on it, which gives a little bit of complexity, which also works together very nicely with those subdials, which have very beautiful complexity as well. So as a combination, I would say the strap is very fitting for this watch. Not just beautiful combination, but also it's very fitting as well because of this complexity, you know. Anyway, this blue color on this watch, very beautiful. This is elastic nylon strap, which has this interesting hook. Look, it's elastic, nice nylon strap, and in general, black strap on this watch definitely looks really good, and together with this interesting hook design, it looks pretty interesting, I must say, pretty interesting. Yeah, black strap definitely looks good on this watch. This is the same strap, except this one is gray. And which one I like better, I don't even know. But I probably like this one better. It's a little bit brighter, a little bit happier perhaps. I don't know, it looks pretty good. All I can tell you is that I think it looks nice on the strap. This is a two-piece thick nylon strap with this pattern. And how does it look like on this watch? Looks very good in my opinion. It looks very good. Very comfortable option, by the way, but you know, it's a small watch, so it doesn't even matter what kind of strap you put on this watch. It's basically always comfortable because it's just a small watch. So that's nice. Yeah, this is pretty. This is beautiful. This strap is one of my new favorites. It's green, crazy horse leather strap. And I just love this green color. It's beautiful by itself, I think. And it adds quite a lot of flavor to this watch, you know, with this combination. Wow, I like it. I like it. I think it's nice. It's looking really good. Sailcloth style nylon strap. Yeah, I think it looks very cohesive on this watch. It fits really nicely. Visually, it doesn't even stand out. It looks like this watch originally on this strap. Looking really good. Very nice leather strap with holes. Has very distinctive character, which I think fits this watch very well. This watch does look rather good on this strap. Yeah, nice. I like that. I actually wore this watch on this strap yesterday all day. And I was having a lot of fun with this watch on my wrist. You know, it looks good. It looks good. And this is vintage style wool wave leather strap, which I like very much. Very comfortable and very cheap strap, which has plenty of character, which also fits this watch very nicely, I must say, very nicely. I mean, you see everything for yourself. It does look very, by the way, the watch itself is just, oh my gosh, just look at this thing. Yeah, I do like it a lot. I like this watch. Yeah, on this strap I think it looks really good. And we are back on the original bracelet, which in my opinion looks very good on this watch. It's a very nice match for the overall design. I like that it tapers down quite a lot. I like the brushing and design. It fits this watch very well in my opinion. Anyway, I wanted to do a little bit of comparison versus some other Addiesdive watches. So the previous Addiesdive watch that I reviewed is this one. And even though this watch is a lot of fun, it's the strap monster, I would say, because as you probably saw in the video, I tried this watch on a lot of different straps and it was a lot of fun. This watch is a lot of fun, but I don't find the case design to be appealing. I find it to be a little bit unelegant, perhaps, because it does look a little bit, well, industrial. It's like lopsided, angular, not too much complexity, nothing really going on. It does look a little bit unfinished, and the bezel is a little bit tall, and you see quite a bit of this rehaut. It's fine, it's okay, especially for the given price point and how much fun it is for on different straps. But as a case design, it's not my thing. It's not my thing. My thing is this watch and this watch. They are quite different, to be honest, stylistically, but they both are my kind of favorite of design. This one, as I told you, my favorite style for the case, slim bezel, beautiful, beautiful, complex, very nicely finished dial, very, very beautiful shape for the crystal. And this one is rather different because, well, it's different design, but I do still find it to be just as appealing. Also very elegant, very beautiful. Also the same shape for the crystal, which also glows very nicely in the light. Very classy vintage style. I love those pushers being engraved a little bit. Adds a little bit of complexity, you know. I like them very, very much. And in front of the light, those crystals look so good as well. They have this dreamy, magical shine in them, which I like very much. I mean, just look at this thing. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So they are quite different, in my opinion. From my point of view, this watch is a little bit more of a modern style, the way I see it, okay? And this one is quite a bit more vintage style. I really love the look of those lugs and how they go through the middle of the case with the same thickness, you know, all throughout the case. It's so nicely done, this thing. One thing I don't like about this watch, well, first of all, no sapphire for sure, but the color, I'm not sure. I think it would look just better black and white, and that's what I really like about this watch. It's just black and white, and I just find it to be appealing. I do like it. But you know what's important? I believe the conclusions would be that they both look rather elegant. All the finishing, shape, proportions, they have rather elegant look, you know, while I wouldn't say the same thing about this watch. It looks quite industrial, you know. Some people might like it, you know, it's down to your personal choice, of course, whatever you like. But for me personally, I tend to go towards elegant looking things like these two watches. Anyway, at the end of the day, the conclusions are rather simple. What Addiesdive made right there is just an eye candy. This watch is the eye candy. Really liking it, you know. I'm really liking it. I'm liking it to the point where I feel actually annoyed that this watch does not have sapphire crystal, you know. Addiesdive, come on. Come on, I would wear the hell out of this watch if it had sapphire. I do find this watch to be very sexy, you know. It's a very sexy looking watch. I like it a lot. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day. Goodbye.